Welcome back, guys. Josh here. I'm the Director of Coaching with P4S Golf. Today's workout is about lower body recovery. Again, so if you've done a strenuous workout or your legs are stiff and sore, if you've done a lot of playing, a lot of walking, this is a great workout to do. It'll be about half an hour. We're going to get some soft tissue work in, some mobility work for entire lower body. Again, this is awesome to do in between the workout days. So let's get started and right into it. For equipment, all you're going to need is you'll need a chair or a stool. You'll need a lacrosse ball and or a softball, a foam roller, a yoga strap, or even a belt will do, and somewhere comfortable to lay down. So let's get right into it. You can stay in your chair or stool. I'm going to take my softball here. I do prefer this over the lacrosse ball a little bit just because of the size of it. I'm just going to kind of lean on that spot and get right over the middle of my back of my thigh or hamstring, and I'm going to kind of put a little pressure here and kind of work it back and forth. And once I find we're going to the inner and outer hamstring, that outer hamstring, I definitely feel a bit of a trigger point there, as you can tell, and I'm going to hold it there and just start to get a little pin and strip movement in the muscle by flexing and extending that knee a little bit. I'm not trying to lock the knee out, I'm just trying to get a little bit of movement there, okay? Once that discomfort subsides a little bit, it's still there. So I'm going to stay in that outer hamstring. Again, you're going to scan the inside and the outside. Okay, once you're on a trigger point, you just park it there, hold it. Don't roll off of it, stay there and either sustain compression until that spot kind of eases off, that discomfort eases off. If it does, then you can pin and strip. So then now that that's eased off, I'm going to move the ball a little bit higher in the hamstring, more in the middle. Again, roll back and forth. Again, I feel just on the outside of this hamstring a little bit of discomfort, so I'm going to hold it there. Again, yours might be in the middle or the inner hamstring. So you kind of that's why we have to go all the way from side to side. And then go back and forth here, just like that. Pin and strip the muscle by just getting a little movement in there. Feels like it's getting freed up a little bit now. There's definitely a spot here on that outer hamstring that's talking to me. It's got my attention. So I'm going to stay there and just move it up a little bit more. So we're kind of into the upper thigh now and back of the hamstring. Again, once you're on a spot, just sustain that compression and hold it until you feel that trigger point just ease off a little bit. And then we can start to straighten and bend the knee a little bit here. So basically work from the lower to the upper hamstring, and then we'll just switch sides. So from here, again, you can just use a stool at home. I work side to side here, putting a little over pressure here. You can lean on that a little bit. Hold it once you find the spot. Yes, my outer hamstrings are talking to me today. Sometimes it's more in the middle or the inner. Depends on what you've been doing. And I'm going to move that up. Again, sustaining the compression just fine like that. If you find a spot that's kind of sore, you can just breathe and kind of lean on it. Once that initial discomfort kind of eases off, just slowly breathe in, get a little bit of movement here, okay? Work the soft tissue. All we're trying to do is get a little bit of movement between what's called the fascia and the muscle. Fascia, I'm going to move this up, is just a layer of connective tissue that's like a sheath. If you think of these shorts as a sheath around my thigh, healthy soft tissue should just slide and glide like that, should slide and glide. But if it's stuck like that, if I pressed it down, now it's going to be harder for me to move this muscle because the fascia is kind of tacked down and tight. So all we're doing with this soft tissue work is we're getting a little bit more movement restored between the fascia and the muscle. So that sheath on top, we're kind of pitting it in place and then moving the muscle a little bit, lengthening and shortening the hamstring here. So I've got that really worked through the hamstring. Now we're going to go into TFL. So now we're going to transition down to the ground. You can move the chair out of the way and come down to the ground here. I'm going to need my lacrosse ball. And from here, TFL is going to be, again, right in this hip crease. So between there's my hip socket, okay? Here is the front of the pelvis. We're gonna be right between those two spots, okay? And this is the big internal hip rotator of the hip. So this is really big for golfers. We need to be able to internally rotate into the trail hip. And you can see here, I'm taking this leg and pushing it into the floor to stack this pelvis a little more vertically on top of that spot. Ooh. So now I'm just using gravity to kind of pin that spot in place. I'm gonna hold it there because I really feel it. Try and take some breaths and I can just kind of wedge side to side. I'm wiggling that ball just into the TFL, pinning it in place, holding it there. Try and bring that thigh back a little bit. Now I'm gonna bend that knee 90 degrees and rotate just like that. There we go. And then the other side. From here, again, working through the TFL in that hip crease, down on the floor, get that knee out, and we're gonna rock back and forth. Again, once you find the spot, just hold it there, sustain some compression. And I'm gonna pin that in place there. Once I've got it, hold it. I can bend the knee 90 degrees and just start to rotate internally and externally with that hip. There we go. Again, you can use this foot. If I get the pelvis to stack a little more vertically, you might find the spot a little more there, directly above the hip socket. Ooh, there it is. Again, deep breaths, easy. Does it kind of wiggle side to side, up and down. Got it right on that spot, hold it. Even just sustaining compression like that is totally fine. Nice deep breaths, and you can relax. Okay, so now we're gonna take, you can use the lacrosse ball. I do prefer, if you've got a softball, I prefer a softball for the quad release. Okay, you can use a foam roller as well. Softball's a little bit more aggressive, so if you want to ease off a little bit, you can use the foam roller. I do like the softball just because it's a little bit, the shape of it, the surface area of the roller is a little more broad, so this is a little bit more pinpoint. Lacrosse ball might be a little bit too pinpoint, so from here we're gonna get that softball just above the kneecap, and from here I'm just gonna lift the foot off the floor and try and turn that thigh out to the side. Now I'm getting that sort of bottom part of the quad. I'm gonna search around for a sore spot. Once you find it, I hold it there. Now I'm gonna straighten and bend the leg. This is really good if you're having any issues with the knees, going uphill, walking uphills, downhills. These muscles around the lower part of the quad might be really restricted. Okay, they might also be weak, so strengthening those is gonna be really important, but trying to address any tight spots in the soft tissue as we get into this inner thigh. Ooh, I can definitely feel that. Hold it there. Again, just sustaining the compression is fine. Or we're bending and straightening the knee like that, okay? If that's too much for you, just hold it there and relax, okay? And you can work up the thigh a little bit, move towards the middle part of the quad or the inner. Again, hold it there. Nice deep breaths, getting into that middle part of the thigh, and we can bend and straighten the knee like that. All right, get at least halfway up the quad, working there, scanning for any trigger points. If you don't find anything, you can move up a little bit more. And then we're gonna get ready to switch into the other side. So we're doing about a minute or so on each leg. From here, again, you can totally use, I'll show you with the foam roller on this side. So all I'm gonna do with the roller is just bring my leg up like that. I can turn the thigh out, turn it in. But again, even when I turn it out like that, so it's on my inner thigh, I've done this probably so many times, I don't feel a lot there, so that's why I use the ball. Actually, there's a spot I can feel it there. So I got enough pressure on there, I can hold it, straighten it. So the ball is just a little bit more pinpoint. You can use either one. They're both good tools. So now I'm gonna work up the thigh a little bit with the roller, hold, bend, and straighten it out. Main thing is to just use those tools every day. So A little bit of mobility every day is going to be really, really key for you to establish good, healthy, soft tissue and some movement between the fascia and the tissue. It's those restrictions and trigger points that that's where the pain is going to start to come from. They can refer pain to other parts of the body. So taking care of the soft tissue, I just tell people it's just like brushing your teeth, taking a shower. Okay, you do those things every day and don't even think about it. So try and think of your mobility work and soft tissue work as that kind of a daily maintenance type thing where you just, even if you do 5 to 10 minutes a day, everybody's got that time, you can make big changes in your body in a relatively short amount of time. So now I've got that quad work through on that side. Now we're going to get into, actually I can hang on to this foam roller, we're going to get into the calf muscle. So I'm going to show you here. From here, if you can see my foot there, from here we're going to be leaning back on the hands and I'm going to place this roller directly just above the ankle on this side, across the feet. So this top leg is going to provide what we call some overpressure. So if you're feeling right now like this is plenty for you to handle, then you can just bring a leg off. If that is giving you, some discomfort, just use the one leg. But if you feel like, okay, I'm not really feeling much in terms of discomfort there, bring this leg over. So we want to feel like I'm going to roll the shin and thigh in and out. So when I roll it out this way towards you, that's the outer calf. When I roll it straight, so that toe is pointing up to the sky, that's middle calf. And when I roll it in, that's inner calf. So you can kind of slowly roll in and out. Once you find that spot where you feel it, sustain compression there, hold it, and then we're just going to point and flex the foot a little bit like that. Just get a little movement at the ankle. That's getting the calf muscle moving, all right? And then we're just gonna bring the roller up a tiny bit, okay? A couple inches. Repeat the same thing. Find the angle, whether it's outer calf, middle, or inner calf here as I roll the thigh in. That's kind of where I feel it the most, so I'm gonna hang out there. And then back and forth. So again, a tolerable level of discomfort is what we're looking for here. It's, I can talk through this, I can breathe, no problem. If you're wincing and grimacing and you're not breathing, that's probably too much pressure. You could maybe just go to one leg like this. But again, it should be moderate, okay, in terms of discomfort level. And again, it's not painful. It's just it's uncomfortable. It's just there. So now I'm working my way up the calf a little more. Again, inner calf, I feel it the most. Middle, not too much. Outer. Once I get up to the very top, I know there's some spots up at the very top of my calf, and this is where we'll get to. I'm on the inner right now. Whew, there it is. I can feel that. You can, sustain compression, or I can point and flex the foot to kind of pin and strip this muscle near the top of the calf. And now, once I get to the outside, once I get to the top of the calf, I'm going to transition to the outside because you'll feel a kind of a bony lump right there. That's top of the shin, okay? That's the fibula right there. So I'm gonna just turn out a little bit like that, okay? So I'm just getting beneath that hard bony lump there, and I'm gonna turn out like that because I know there's a spot there right underneath, and that's somewhere you can explore with the roller. And then I'm gonna put this leg on top, and there it is. Yeah, there it is right there. So hold it there. Try and relax the foot. And this one you can even just pull your big toe up and down. That's it. So this calf muscle goes all the way from around that outside across and up towards the big toe. So just pulling the big toe up and down. This is flexor hallucis longus. Again, big long Latin names. It's just kind of the big toe flexor that we're getting at here. All right. Really important one though when you're walking up and down hills, climbing, that kind of stuff, pushing off the toe. All right, so we got that calf. Let's get into the other one. So from here, starting on the lower half, just above the ankle, okay? Again, single leg is fine, but if you need more pressure, put this leg on top for a bit of overpressure. Roll either in the middle, inner, or outer part of the calf, okay? And once you're on middle or inner, hold it there. And we're going to point and flex the foot to get that sort of release or pin and strip. Again, if it's too much discomfort, just sustain some compression. Otherwise, you can flex and extend that ankle, and then after about a half a dozen times, move that roller up just a little bit more. Again, find the angle to work from. This inner part seems to be a little more tight for me today, so that's where I'm gonna hang out. And it might change day to day, week to week. That's why you explore around all the time. Just check the area out. This is kind of a choose your own adventure to some degree. We're exploring around the calf muscle. Just think of this roller as it's just like the elbow or fist of a massage therapist, kind of working in the soft tissue, or a physical therapist, trying to find the sore spots. You hold it on the sore spot there and then pin and strip. So I'm kind of in that middle calf right now. And then I'm working through that, getting into the upper part of the calf. At the top, now I'm in that upper middle calf. That's not too bad. I feel it a bit. So I'm gonna hang out there and point and flex, but then I'm gonna have a look on this outer part, again, right up by that bony part of the fibula there. I'm gonna go to the outer calf here, put this leg on top for a bit of overpressure. Let's see what we can find in here. And this is where the softball might be a little handier, but I can still find it. If I sneak this out onto the edge of the roller, I can probably get at it. Yeah, there it is. The left one seems to be a little worse right now, but again, looking around, point and flex the foot. Okay, that one's not too bad. Point and flex the big toe actually for this one. That's it. All right, so from here, calf is done, okay? And now we're going to get into deep hip rotator, or glute medius, I should say. From here, very top of the glute, up here. And so this is just beneath the crest of the hip. Okay, we're gonna put the ball there, lean back on it, and we're going to use the foot to kind of move up, down, and around, side to side until you find that trigger point. So hold it there, let that leg relax, let it sink in. You can either sustain compression or flex and extend the hip, just like that. Or we can rotate like so, okay? Either way, totally fine. And again, I don't feel, you can explore around side to side a little bit. Anywhere beneath this crest of the pelvis, side to side, it's totally fine, okay? I don't feel too many spots in there, so I'm gonna go over to the left side. Again, back on the elbow. Yeah, I'm gonna find a lot, I know right away, I can feel it. I'm gonna find more right here. Hold it, relax the leg, stay on top of the spot. And then breathe. Try and either flex the leg, or you can rotate, okay, that thigh in and out, just like that. Moving it around. I can feel it a bit there. That's it. All right, so that's glute medius near the top, outer part of the glute. Okay, so once we're done those trigger points, there's our soft tissue work done, okay? I'm gonna put those in there so they don't roll away. And you can find your back. We are going to take you can use a yoga block. You could use just a belt is fine. You could use a rope or a strap. I've even used a pair of jeans before. Just if you put one hand on each pant leg and then you have your foot right in the middle of the crotch of the pants, that's totally fine. Whatever works. Okay. We're just going to try and find a strap, okay, that we can hold on to, that we're going to wrap right around, okay, the sole of the foot like that. All right. So all we're doing is we've got enough basically rope, okay, or strap here that you can get into a nice tall posture here. I'm gonna use this pillow here, nice and comfy. All right, from this position, all I'm gonna do is grab each strap, this one's nice, it's got kind of loops in here, I can hook my wrists around it. But from here, I've got this just at the middle of the foot. I'm gonna straighten that knee out. And pay attention to what your lower back's doing on the floor. You should be able to, again, put your fingertips, at least 4 fingertips under that lower back, under the small of your back. From here, keep that nice and tall. And we're gonna open that up. Deep breaths, and we're gonna try and point and flex.
just like that. Hold like that. And then see how my knees stay straight now? Let's try and move it up a little further. I definitely feel this stretch down the back of the leg. Point and flex several times. And then I'm gonna try and move a little further. Okay, again, I'm trying to keep that space between my lower back and the floor the same. My lower back is not crunching into the floor, or I'm not rolling. If I do this, you can see my lower back and pelvis are rolling. I don't want them to roll, I want that to feel neutral, okay? And from here, we're pointing and flexing like that. There we go. And then I can move it a little bit further. All right, so I'm gonna hold it there. What you can also do now is take both sides in one hand. I'm gonna unlock this knee a little bit. I'm gonna bring this over. I'm gonna grip down closer to the leg. Try and bring this across my body a bit. Make sure this opposite shoulder stays down. Now I feel this in the hip. Hold that stretch there. I'm gonna move it out and back. Try and kick my heel out and away a little bit. Then I can lengthen the strap and bring this across the body here. There we go. So now let's go into the other side. Okay, so I'm moving here, getting this over the other foot. Again, getting that on the middle of the foot and straight knee. Keep the shoulders down and we're pulling this slowly up. Again, make sure you get a little space between your lower back and the floor. So again, right here, I can fit my fingers underneath there. Point and flex, point and flex. And then I can keep that knee straight and hinge the hip. You can see moving from my hip socket a little higher. Point and flex, about 4 or 5 times. And now, boom, goes up a little further. Keeping that little space in the lower back. Again, I'm not rolling the tailbone up. There we go. Maybe once more, point, flex, and a little hip hinge. There we go. Hold it there. I'm gonna unlock the knee, grab both straps, and come across the body here, push this shoulder down, and now I'm gonna drive this heel out straight, reach it across the body here, feeling the stretch in this hip and glute. Nice deep breaths. Feeling that stretch in the hip, hamstring here. So you can try pushing that heel out, straightening the leg, and then bend the knee and we can unwind there, okay? So now we're going to come up to a seated position here, okay? From here, single leg, feet are wide. I'm gonna bend this knee 90 degrees, pull the toe up towards the shin like that, and I'm gonna roll this thigh in. So I'm internally rotating this hip, and then I'm gonna move it out, and then internally rotate again. Really important here, the internal rotation in the lead. This is my lead hip, okay? I'm trying to always post up onto this side in the follow through. That's what this motion is. Internal rotation in the lead hip is necessary for turning in there, hold, and then open up. Bring it down again, and open up, and roll it in. Open it up, now we're gonna extend out. Let's switch sides. Roll it in, got 6 on each side here till you feel stretch in the hip. Keep this butt cheek down. That's really important that the butt cheeks stay down on the floor. If you're feeling this in the knee as well, I want you to dig that heel into the floor. Keep the foot flexed up. That's gonna help stabilize the calf and the knee muscle there. Open up. 3, hold that end range for a couple seconds. And 4, exhale, roll it in. 5, 1 more. And 6, there we go, hold it there. Excellent, so now we're gonna transition to a 90-90 position. And we're gonna put that rear leg, okay, we're in this 90-90, bring the chest forward. This is gonna make the exercise a little easier. I'm gonna try and take this thigh and roll it down and in towards the floor to lift the foot. So this thigh and hip roll inwards. and then the foot comes off. I'm not just trying to do this and pick the foot up. Roll your thigh down and in. This might be really tough. You might feel like your foot weighs 100 pounds and you can barely get it off the ground like that. But keep working at it, and you can try and even poke this muscle and try and feel that you're squeezing here. Again, the more forward you lean, if I'm down here, the easier it's going to be for me to get that up. You can see that. The more vertical I am, the harder it's going to be for me to get that hip rotation, okay? So go with whatever position you feel like you can get some actual rotation. Hold, back down, hold. 4 more to go. Squeeze and hold. Feel it in the hip. 1 more. This last one, we'll hold for 5 count. 4, 3, 2, 1, and bring it down. All right, good work in the TFL there. Let's switch to the other side. From here in that 90-90 position, bring the chest forward, okay? And from here, again, the more forward you are, the easier it's going to be to rotate, okay? If I'm further back here, it's going to be a little tougher to get that off. I can really feel that through this whole side, so I'm going to come forward a bit. Focus here, rotate. 2, we're going to do 8 times. 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. 2 more to go. We're going to hold that last one for a 5 count. Hold in 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Excellent job. All right, so now what I'm going to have you do is go ahead and you can grab your chair. We're going to transition up to a kneeling position here. And I'm going to grab a chair here. You'll also need a golf club. Okay, so from this position, I'm going to use a dowel here because it's easier for me to grab. We're going to put one knee down. You can put both knees on the pad here. Okay, and then you're going to hook one foot on the chair. You could use a couch as well. This is actually called a couch stretch, but I'm just going to use a chair. So I'm hooking the top of my foot on the chair, my knees here, and then I'm going to bring the other foot up like so, okay, on the floor. So I've got a golf club or a stick here, so I'm going to try and bring this foot forward. Again, when you're first starting, you might be stuck here. You might feel if you got really tight quads and hip flexors, this might be it for you. But that's why we've got the stick here, so you can start to climb up, breathe through it, start to climb up. So as you get more flexible, this stick can come closer to you, and you can try and get more of a straight line here, okay? So that's what we're going for, is to try and feel that this glute, you're tucking it under, engaging this hip, and getting the spine tall here. So I'm not trying to arch my back or extend this way. I'm trying to keep my back neutral, extend the hip socket forward so it's right in line here with this heel basically all the way back. I'm going to push this down into the floor and breathe, keeping the shoulder blades down away from the ears. Push down into the stick, hold, keep the chest up tall. I can really feel a big stretch up here. Push into the floor. I can push the toe into the back of the chair and then release. So that contraction is the back toe and the hands pushing into the floor. That engages the quad and the core, and we're going to exhale, release, maybe get a little taller here. So we're going to slowly come out of that. Once you feel like you made some progress, and I'm going to switch sides. So again, that foot comes up on the chair. I bring the other knee in front. And again, slowly work your way up. Wherever your comfort level is, whether you're here, here, or here, the only thing that matters is you're progressing. Okay, so nice and tall. Even feel, try and get your butt cheek to engage there. You might even have to move your hip forward like this. That's fine initially. As you progress, that hip will get closer to your heel. And we're trying to tuck, you can see I'm trying to tuck that pelvis under. That's what's going to give me that stretch right in this hip flexor. Push down into the chair, hold, and release. Press down, hold, release, press down, hold, release, nice and tall, press down, hold, and release. That's great. So I really feel that in the hip flexor. Again, about 45 to 60 seconds each side. If you want to hold it a little bit longer, that's fine. I'm going to slowly come out of there. And from here, slide that chair out of the way and
We don't need that anymore. So now I'm going to work on what we call a pedaling exercise for the calf muscle. So it's kind of like downward dog a little bit, in the sense that you can come down to here on all fours, and then I'm gonna push through my hands, keep the knees bent, okay? And I'm gonna get you to push your butt up towards the sky. So keep the knees bent, and now I'm gonna try to straighten one leg down to the floor. The other knee's gonna bend, so I'm pushing this hip up and back towards the sky as the other one bends forward. So now I feel the stretch in the back of this calf, and then I'm gonna hold it for a second or two, and then I'm gonna pedal. So my other foot heel pushes down, this heel lifts up, this hip drives up and back. Remember to push through the hands. Now I feel that stretch right back here, and pedal. Other heel, push down, drive that hip up and back towards the ceiling, push through the hands, and pedal. We're gonna do 6 more on each side. There's a total of 8. 3 and 3, push up, just hold it for a second or two. 4 and 4, hold, butt up and back. 5, 6, 6. Now I feel those calf muscles. 7, and even feel like you're pulling the toes up towards the shins as you do this. And 8. There we go. Bend the knees. Okay, relax there for a second. So that was the calf pedaling. That gets the back of the calf muscles in behind the knees nice and loose. Last one we're going to do here is called a reverse toe touch. So again, you can elevate the toes onto a surface like this, a block or something like that. It's not absolutely mandatory, but I would want you to have your butt resting on a wall behind you. So what I want you to do is get your heels lined up on the edge of the wall, and then go forward, one. So if this is the edge of the wall here, my heels are going to be in front, but 1 foot length from the wall. So my heels, basically the wall is going to be 1 foot length back from here. Heels elevated, butt back, and rests on the wall. So we're presetting a hip hinge. So my butt's on the wall here behind my heels, hands on the toes. So this wall behind me is gonna keep me balanced, and I'm gonna slide my butt up the wall, trying to straighten my knees. They might not straighten, you might only get to here, that's fine. Just work at trying to get a little straighter, bend, exhale, straighten, inhale down, exhale, straighten, trying to get a little more progress each time. Inhale down, exhale up, inhale down, exhale up. 4 more. Exhale up, 3, 2, slide up the wall, 1 more. And rest, bend the knees, step back, take your time coming up. All right, so there was our lower body recovery workout. So we got some soft tissue work in for the hips, the calves, the quads. We got stretches in for calves, quads, hip flexors, glutes, and some mobility work in for the internal rotation. So you should feel really, really good after that in the lower body. That exercise is gonna help you recover from workout, it's gonna help you recover from golf, and improve your mobility and ability to rotate in the golf swing with that lower body and your hips especially. So I hope you enjoyed that one, and I'll see you in the next workout.